I'm a woman living with dwarfism. We are people to be mocked at, laughed at. We're forms of entertainment.
Kristen was born with achondroplasia, and her height was 3 feet 9 inches.
My mom found out when she was about 8 months pregnant with me that the measurements of my bones were off. They suspected a skeletal dysplasia, and then once I was born, achondroplasia was confirmed. 80% of individuals who have achondroplasia are born to average height parents, which is myself. There are several complications from infancy to adulthood that can arise with achondroplasia. In school, I dealt with a little bit of bullying, but you also have the fact that society is built for people who are 4'11" and taller. So I couldn't reach the public facilities, the toilets. I had to climb up on a public toilet to get on. I could not my arms were so much shorter that to reach across a stove and try and turn the stove on or off, I couldn't just reach. It becomes a safety issue. A lot of times things that are accommodating tend to be more expensive. To adapt your house to your height, it's far more expensive. Hemming clothes, it costs a lot of money.
Over time, Kristen also began to notice how unfair media representation of dwarves was.
You look at how most individuals with skeletal dysplasia are represented within the media. We are people to be mocked at, laughed at. We're forms of entertainment. And so when older teens, adults see us in society, that's how they react to us.
But then Kristen decided to get limb lengthening surgery done.
We first discovered limb lengthening when I was young. I underwent my first of 3 procedures when I was 12 years old. And basically, my first procedure was on my lower legs, or my tibias, and fibula. There are 2 bones in the lower leg. Limb lengthening does not take away the fact that I am living with achondroplasia. I will always have achondroplasia. It's in my genetics. It doesn't take that away. I'm a little bit more proportionate, I'm taller, but it does not take away the fact that I'm living with the most common form of dwarfism and that other complications can arise.
In 2012, Kristen began spreading awareness and education regarding dwarfism and achondroplasia.
I became associated with platforms like The Mighty, which is a disability platform. And so I've done several writings and videos with them. And then within my own community, we not only have a hard time fitting in with society in general, but then you have a hard time fitting into your own portion of the disability community. I got really, really loud with speaking out about my experience with achondroplasia, going through limb lengthening, but I've also been on the other side of it where in 2015 I ended up with lumbar and thoracic spinal stenosis, and I was almost paralyzed. I was not working, I was on disability. Society can be a really brutal place. So for me, little legs, big heart arose in 2009. I was having to undergo some corrective procedures, and I started a blog. And the more I wrote and the more I would say little legs, big heart and just say that phrase to myself, the more meaning it started to have for me. I didn't ask to be born with achondroplasia, but I got one shot at this, one life. That's all any of us have. And so if I'm gonna be resistant to the fact that this is me, this is my soul suit, my body that I'm living in, it's not gonna get me anywhere.